everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. Today we are hooking the corn head up to the 9770 because we're getting ready to change out the rollers on the corn head. What they do is when the corn plant makes contact with the rollers, it'll come through like this. The rollers grab it and then pull the plant down through the head, and when the ears hit the plates, the ears will bounce off the head, or will bounce off those, and the ears get shuffled into the combine. So we're changing out the rollers for 360 yield center chain rolls. We used them on our last head that we had, and we were really happy with them. We were really impressed with how they size up the stalks and chop up the material, and really just grind it down as compared to just pulling the plant through and forgetting about the stalks. So we're getting the head ready tonight. Andrew is coming down to help us put the chain rolls on tomorrow. We should be able to do it in one day, so I'll see you guys then. But this is what you use if you want to go right back to it. Would you fold it down? You could. And then for these rolls, which they really aren't super duper bad, 8 bolts out. We'll drop these off, and then voila. The ends of the rolls are right here. There are no roll pins through these, which all these rolls are a little different. Our biggest issue is going to be just making sure you get the dirt and stuff that's caked in there out. Which, granted, we bought this thing used, so we can't even be blamed that it was our fault, right? But I've been told just go through, take the bolt out, and Andrew does have a roll puller to get these off. So I mean, these heads, these rolls aren't as bad to take out. I mean, you remember what the 6 row was that when we did that one? I mean, that one we literally fought every single roll. And then you had to do shear pin or roll pins in each one. But these, oh yeah, there's a little bit of wear and tear on them, but I actually didn't mind these. I don't even know, I mean, I'm not even sure if these are the John Deere rolls, to be honest with you. They're definitely cutting rolls though. I mean, that one's kind of messed up, but I actually didn't mind the job that these did. It's just that the 360-degree chain rolls that we're putting on, the same thing that we had on the 6 row, but on the chain rolls, tests have been done because of their mode of action with the fingers that intermesh, and it shreds the stalks better. It allows it to decompose faster, and they say it takes 2 years for the stalk residue on corn to deteriorate, for all of the nutrients that are in that stalk to be released back into the soil. 2 years for the chain rolls, and they say for a standard like Deere stalk roll that you get from the factory, they say it's up to 4. So it is kind of like a quicker return on investment on your fertilizer, so you don't have that all tied up going forward. And anything that helps the residue decompose quicker, I'm all for it.
Impact socket won't fit in there. It's gotta be a thin wall.
Do we have one?
No.
Oh.
We'll have to try and find one.
Okay.
You see, I did get some emery paper or emery cloth. Had to order it online to get it, but I got it.
Actually, that'd be a good background thing. Whew.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to use the pneumatic.
So in theory, they should slide right out of there. That one popped right out.
you're talking about.
There. There. It's not all the way on though. Why not? Because it's hitting that one. That looks like it's right. Because it's timed. See how the knives are supposed to mesh with each other. That's what's happening when they're here. So there you go.
We gotta go up.
Wiggle them up.
There you go.
To me, that looks like it's right.
Need to be torqued to 67 foot-pounds. But that's after we go through, put the washers, the new burrs. Tighten those down to 90 foot-pounds. Once we get those on, rotate it a full revolution to make sure that they don't contact.
Okay, so the never sees goes on. What usually do you have sandpaper or steel wool or anything to just rub that down? So I usually rub down on this whole shaft here to get some of that loose rust off, and then the anise goes right where these notches are.
We need to take those back off.
So
You got these two long over here.
So those are the grooves that slides on. So actually, and on most of them, I've actually just been coating that whole shaft. That's not bad if you're able to get that many off without a puller. Last one I did, everyone needed a puller and a torch. Yep. And then you've got that hardware kit that you can put the 2 bolts through.
We've got all the chain rolls on now except for 2 sets. So if you look up underneath here, we've also been putting in these stripper plates. And the purpose of these is to keep material from building up on these rollers. So the rollers are gonna be spinning and it's gonna be pulling the stock down through. It's gonna be shredding that material, but anything that catches on these chain rolls is gonna come over, and you'll see that there's like a knife edge on this. And that'll cut any of that material off so that it doesn't build up on your rollers and cause issues. But overall, I mean, this was a very easy job to do. I mean, it was just very repetitive, having to do it 12 times, but you know, it wasn't too bad. We did it all yesterday for the most part. We're gonna finish putting these on. got the combine ready to go now. We got the heads also ready for action, but we're not going to be pulling the combine out of the shed until we're a little bit closer to harvesting, which is at least another week yet. Since we got that ready to go, I figured I'd come out and give an update on the crops. So right now we're standing on the road next to a farm that's 30 acres. This is my no-till field. And something interesting is happening in this field, which to not knock the sprayer applicator at all, because they are fixing it and making it right. But I wanted to point this out for one of the things to be on the lookout for. Thankfully, you know, this is one area where it'll be interesting to see what it looks like on the yield monitor. But you guys may be able to see the field behind me and the different stages that the soybeans are in. So earlier this year, I noticed when I was flying the drone that one of the areas in the field didn't look quite right. From above, it really starts to take in full effect. You can really see how wide it is in the pattern. You can tell that it was a sprayer track. So I don't know if they pulled into the field and either, you know, hit this place twice, or they had a little bit of residue left in the tank from a previous load or what, but they are going to be taking care of it. So I've already talked to the agronomist about it, and that's all taken care of. You know, it's just one of those things that you want to be on the lookout for when you're scouting. So you can see that the beans are definitely a little bit later where they were stunted. It'll be interesting to see what the moisture is doing. Obviously those beans aren't drying down quite as fast because they were stunted and put behind. But on this farm, the best area is usually right along the road here. So far, I mean, the ones that weren't stunted are looking very, very good. I'm gonna go through and do a quick count on the bean pods on just a random plant. That bean plant had 40 pods on it, and I would say that the average on that plant was probably like 2.5, maybe even 2, because there were a lot of single pods. But to me, it seems like these plants are very full. Let's keep walking and see where it's stunted. Oof. Looks like they started right over there on the headland. I'd say that's a 90-foot pass myself, and it kind of gets sketchy through here, but you can follow it right along the ridge line over there. I'm gonna pick a random plant here and count the pods. Now these plants are noticeably shorter. 13, 14. That one random plant had 14 pods compared to 40. So is that gonna affect my yield? Yeah, but you know, this is one of those areas where we've identified what it is, and I'll be compensated for it. Stuff like this, it does happen, and having a yield monitor especially really helps, because now we can compare, see how many acres were affected exactly, and we can compare what the yield's going to be. I was kind of hoping, since beans like being beaten, that it would help with the yield, but I'm looking at these plants going, I don't know, man. They're not looking nearly as good as what I was hoping they would be. 38, 39, 40, 41. Second plant I counted has 41. So I don't see these beans in this particular spot being very dry. By the time harvesting rolls around, I mean, I guess this is definitely going to be an area where you guys will be getting an update to see how things pan out. But otherwise, I think the crops this year are looking very good. Across the road, you can see that the corn over there is LG, and that's really dry. Now we're standing at another one of my fields of corn, and this field in particular has a mixture of corn on beans and corn on corn. Now, I went in and picked 3 random ears from an area that's corn on corn, because last week I went through an area that's corn on beans and plucked 3 random ears. And this was my best ear that I pulled from the corn on corn. I would say that all 3 of the ears that I picked from the corn on beans looked better, bigger than my best one on the corn on corn. And this was my worst one. I went roughly 15 rows deep, so the further I went in, the better the ears looked. This was from 6 rows, this was from like 9 or 10, and this was from the 15th row. So overall, I think that we're not even going to be looking at harvesting any corn for at least 2 weeks yet, and that would be high moisture stuff that we're putting into the bin to dry down. At Rockville is more than likely where we're going to start, but I think where we're going to start on harvest is going to be on the soybeans, because looking around at a lot of our fields, the beans are looking the closest to being dry. Looking at a lot of our corn, it's still very green yet, even comparing them to the neighbors' fields. So I think, you know, the corn, we're not even going to bat an eyelash for at least 2 weeks, if not 3. Looking at the beans, they are looking like we're probably going to try to do a lot of those before we start on corn, but it really just kind of depends on how things go from here. On my biggest ear that I plucked from this field, you can see that the kernels are just full of moisture. But given a little bit more time, I feel like the corn dried down really fast. It seemed like over the course of a week or so, the fields went from really nice green to what you're seeing across the road. Today is Saturday, September 24th. I'm posting this video on Sunday, September 25th. So with that, that's pretty much it for this video. I wanted to come out and talk to you guys a little bit about the crops, show you what's going on in one of my fields. That's about the most interesting thing that I've got going on out of all of them. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and, you know, show you one of the things that you need to keep a lookout for. With that, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.